When they're done right, Attack on Titan games can evoke that exact same feeling that you get by swinging around the city as Spider-Man in a AAA game, but with a much smaller budget, letting the show's hype and the ability to boost mid-air and slice up titans do the rest of the work for you. This past month has been so nostalgic to me because one of my first videos as an anime games creator was an Attack on Titan video, and that was my first video that blew up on my previous channel, TGN Anime. And just like last time, you guys blew up my recent Attack on Titan video on Rorke's fan game, filling it up with comments regarding other Attack on Titan games that I should check out. And you know what I did? I did exactly that. I've played Swami's, Geddon's, and Fang's Attack on Titan fan games. Swami was brand new to me, Geddon didn't change much, and Fang's got some new stuff ever since I last checked it out. But none of these on their own are the perfect Attack on Titan game that I want to talk about today. The perfect Attack on Titan game is hiding amongst all of them. If you take the best parts of these 4 fan creations, then you'll finally end up with the perfect Attack on Titan game, and that's what we're here to talk about today. What each one of these fans/developers did right, and if someone were to pick up those features and bring them all together into a single game, Attack on Titan fans would be feasting for a long time. I'll leave links to all those games down in the description down below, where you'll also find a link to today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by Surfshark. If you're on the internet, you need a VPN. Full stop. It's getting so dangerous out there, and VPNs protect your data and your online privacy. And as a bonus, they let you browse the internet as if you were in another country. If you've ever used Netflix, Crunchyroll, or Amazon Prime, you may have noticed that you don't have all the shows that people are talking about. That's because the list of shows in one country is different from the list of shows in another country. But with a VPN, that's no longer an issue. You just switch your virtual country and voila, all the shows are there. But here's why Surfshark VPN is my personal favorite and why I've been recommending it for so long. First of all, it's crazy affordable. If you follow the link down below, you'll get an 83% discount plus 3 months for free when you sign up for a 2-year plan, meaning you get all the stuff that we talked about at less than $3 a month, and you don't have to worry about a VPN for the next 2 years. This should be my only selling point. If you're not getting it at this price, I don't know what to tell you. But here you go. Second reason why. It works on unlimited devices. With a single login, I can have it on my desktop, my tablet, my phone, my parents' computer if I want to. And it can be active on all devices with a single login. I don't have to worry about logging out ever. And third, this is my normal internet speed, and this is my speed with Surfshark VPN, and as you can see, it doesn't make it any slower. So stop stalling and get Surfshark. Surfshark.deal/Globku for an 83% discount plus 3 months for free when you sign up for a 2-year plan. And if that wasn't enough, they've got a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk to even try it out for yourself. Thank you, Surfshark, for sponsoring this video. Let's start with Rorke's Attack on Titan, but let's not spend too much time on it since the last video was fully dedicated to it, and I've already said pretty much everything I wanted to say about it. Rorke's Attack on Titan is brilliant. After playing through all these fan games, I can safely say that this is my favorite. As far as physics, traversal, and controls go, this game is unrivaled. If I had to rank these 4 games based on game feel, it would be Rorke's, Swami's, Geddon's, and then Fang's. And that's the ranking of the Attack on Titan fan games! 1 episode only, that's all I needed. Rorke's game is very multiplayer focused with races and versus mode where players can choose between playing with swords, pistols, or rockets. The characters are just skins, and what changes the gameplay is the weapon you choose, and they feel so different from each other that it's almost like playing a different class in a game like Overwatch. But the ODM gear is really where this game shines the most, and that's become even more obvious after playing all the other games. The controls are so snappy, you have so much manual control of where you want to place your grappling hooks with a button to separate the hooks and create a slingshot. It's a bit overwhelming at first, but you'd be surprised at how quickly you can pick it up and learn it. And some moves are very powerful, like fast air dashes, but that's why there's a limit to how many you can do thanks to the stress meter that Rorke created. I think of all the fan games, this one has the best traversal and the best controls, and if someone was able to take this and translate it into a controller with the right amount of aim assist, this could even become a console game. But Rorke's game is missing one core feature of Attack on Titan, and that's the Titans. All the game modes are scouts versus other scouts, so tonally it ends up feeling like a fun multiplayer game, but it doesn't have the horror and the pressure that the Titans are able to exude in the show. But for the perfect Attack on Titan game that we're building today, we're gonna take Rorke's physics, movement, and controls, and we can also take that stress level and the fuel and weapon durability too, because that system is really, really good. And I also love that you can play not only with blades, which is the case with all the other games we're gonna look at today, but also with pistols and the thunder spears. So we're taking those loadouts as well. Next up, a newcomer enters the arena. Swami tweeted at me after I posted that last video, and and I looked at his game, which the gimmick seemed to be that you play in first person. My first thought was, this is a terrible idea, but it works better than I thought. Swami also feels great in motion. I don't think the physics are quite as good as Rorke's, but they get pretty close. Just make sure you don't grapple upwards and then look down, you may find out that you're missing a head. The game features titans of different heights and behaviors. Some are very passive and others run at you and are a bit tougher to outmaneuver. And the whole game is basically a speedrun mode with only 2 maps. You gotta kill all the titans or training dummies as fast as you can. There are some actual speedrunning courses with some weird shapes on the way, and it seems more will come in the future along with more single player game modes. Swami is still working on this, but looking at his TikTok, it seems that he's also busy making another mobile game that's inspired by Attack on Titan. It's got the ODM movement and some grounded action combat, and the merger of these two styles looks really good, I'm not gonna lie, but I'll be damned if you catch me playing an action game like this with touch controls. The absolute best feeling in this game is when you reach that top speed and slice a titan's nape without even slowing down. You got that perfect angle, you zoom past them, you are miles away before they even hit the ground. And because of that, I really like how swords work in this game. It's simple, there's only one attack, but it's aimed manually like a first-person shooter. And because you have so much control over your own movement, having this manual control over your slash also feels pretty nice, though I don't know how good that would translate into a multiplayer mode. And you can play this game in third person. In fact, when I streamed this game over on my Twitch, some folks in my chat said they were getting motion sick, so I mostly played in third person from that point on. But the problem is, because the sword was built for first person controls, the manual control feels somewhat off in third person. For the perfect Attack on Titan game, we already have Rorke's physics and movement. Swami gets close, but Rorke is still the best in my opinion. We've also got Rorke's resource management and loadouts, which I think would be paired up perfectly with Swami's Titans. I think it maybe needs some more types, you know, some abnormals who can jump on top of buildings maybe, but at the very base level, this Titan variety is incredibly solid. And Swami, if I could give you one little tip before the next update, make sure your loading screens are a bit longer, which is a weird thing to ask for, but your loading screens are very fast. Thing is, when you start playing, the city isn't done loading, so the first few seconds feels so choppy, and in a speedrun focused game like this, you kinda don't want that. Just my little 2 cents. Or better yet, just make this perfect Attack on Titan game that I'm pitching in this video. That'd be better. Next up, we have Geddon's, and Geddon's game is pretty much the same since I last checked it out. It seems that they dropped development of this game, releasing the source code for anyone who wants to pick it up, but for now, it is stuck in this alpha stage. And while that's unfortunate, Geddon's game was probably the weakest from this entire pool of fan games. I may have ranked Fang's game last as far as game feel goes at the start of this video, but Fang has a lot of other things that make up for that game feel. Geddon just never developed his idea enough, so this alpha build gets very boring to play. When it starts, the graphics look kinda good, and that Titan is so menacing. It's almost like Jump Force graphics, which look terrible in my opinion, but that horror very much works in the Titan's favor. That's what they're supposed to look like, horrific, giant, naked people. And then all the Titans are exactly the same heights, they behave exactly the same, and they all have the same design. But hey, it's an alpha, it didn't get developed enough. Once again, the ODM movement feels very good, on par with Swami's Attack on Titan. The problem is, Geddon's combat gets very stale. It is impossible to swing around the Titan and strike its nape. Instead, what you're supposed to do is wait for the Titan to attack, dodge, and perform a cinematic counterattack. You gotta do this for both arms, at which point the Titan slows down, allowing you to slice the nape. Remember what the best part about Swami's game was? When you get that momentum and the right angle, and you slice the Titan's nape without slowing down a little bit. Geddon's game would be capable of this exact same feeling given the game's physics, its movement, and its slashes, but because the Titans are so good at turning around, you can't get that feeling ever. It is possible to slice the napes of Titans without destroying both of their arms, but you gotta be really good for that. Even then, you never catch a Titan by surprise. You always need to dodge an attack first, and it just feels like you're stopping your entire momentum. That said, after you destroy both Titans' arms, the attack feels pretty good. It doesn't feel kind of off like Swami's did in third person, so overall, into our perfect game, we're taking the Titan scary look, but with the different designs that Geddon has already brought to the perfect game. And we're also bringing the attacks, both the basic attacks and the cinematic attacks. You just gotta make more cinematic attacks, because this one gets repetitive even though it looks cool as hell. But even the basic attacks keep your momentum and they hit where you're aiming, so if you had Rorke's movement with these attacks and Swami's Titans, you can start to see the perfect Attack on Titan game forming up. All that we're missing now is content, but that's exactly where Fang's Attack on Titan tribute game shines the most. Now, unfortunately for fans of the tribute game, Fang has dropped development, but a group of fans are now making a sequel with Fang's blessing, so maybe that's something we ought to check out once they release it. That said, I'm not that excited for a sequel because Fang was really not my favorite, despite it looking like it is the community's favorite overall. And I can totally see why why it's popular, it just fails at doing the most important things to me. Fang has this chibi look, which is not my favorite, not gonna lie, but that has allowed them to create so much content for this game, to the point that you can even create your own characters and play around with them. Fang's game is a fan favorite because it delivers what everyone wants. You want free roam and kill titans like the other games? Go for it. You want to play as a titan? Okay, we can do that too. You want to play multiplayer scouts versus titans? Dude, have at it. What's that? You want races? I got you, buddy. Oh, cooperative boss fights against the titan shifters? Sure thing, man. Fang's Attack on Titan has content. It has fan service. When you select a character, each one of them has a special attack. Levi spins with his blade, Sasha eats a potato and sprints really fast. And all of this stuff is the reason why Fang's game is so popular. And I still really don't like it. This is gonna sound very rough, but bear with me. The Attack on Titan tribute game is popular for the exact same reason that Jump Force sold a lot of units. And that's because it is flair over substance. For Jump Force, the flair was the roster, bringing all of those shonen characters together into a single game. The substance, or lack of, is the garbage fighting system, but characters sell games, so it doesn't matter how bad the game is. Fang's flair is all this content, the multiplayer modes, playing as a titan, but the substance just isn't there the same way that it is with the other games. And I mean no disrespect with this comparison, Jump Force was built with a big budget, it had no right in being that bad. This game was built by Fang on his own time, and they're not charging any money for it, so it's a completely different scenario, which is why this comparison sounds worse than it actually is. But here's why I don't think this game is very good at the base level. First of all, the physics don't feel good. There's a very slow acceleration that goes into a ridiculous top speed, and the character always feels weighed down by their own weight, so rising up in height can be a bit of a challenge, even when you're reeling in your hooks at top speed. And the Titan's nape requires a very precise slash, and that's when you don't simply go through their heads. And these physics are probably more realistic. That's how momentum works. You slowly accelerate into top speed. Your body weight weighs you down, so it's harder to raise up. But realistic doesn't mean fun. So to me, controlling Fangs is actually the least fun of all the Fan games. And I've seen videos of people being absolutely insane with it. This is a physics system that you can learn and get good at. But I mean, even looking at this seems insane if you know how this game controls, but it still doesn't look good. It just looks like a broken ass game. That said, it's impossible to ignore the sheer amount of content that this game has, and that's exactly what we would bring to the perfect Attack on Titan game. Now, this means a lot of work. This means making Titans playable, but with these graphics, and with all of those different Titan designs, in a way that doesn't break the multiplayer when scouts are flying with Rorke's physics system, slashing up other players' napes. But if we want to get there, if we want the Attack on Titan game of our dreams, the perfect Attack on Titan game, then this needs to happen. Which is why developing good games is really hard. But it's great to see that every single one of these fan creations has something to contribute. Every one of these games is doing something right. So once again, Koei Tecmo, Omega Force, hire these people for the next big Attack on Titan game. They have the best resume possible in the entire world. They have proven that they can do something great already. They just need that chance. But what would you add to the perfect Attack on Titan game? Let me know in those comments down below. And don't forget to check out today's sponsor, Surfshark. Get a massive discount plus 3 months for free, and you don't have to worry about a VPN for the next 2 years, baby. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name's Globku, and I'll see you next time. Boy!